What up, Brohan? I'm Leon, the Paperback Maniac, coming at you on this fine October day with a very special collection video. You see, today I will be sharing with you guys my collection of the first volume of Gore Shriek magazine. I've got the 6 issues that comprised Volume 1, which ran from 1986 to 1989 and was edited by Stephen R. Bissett, who was a contributing story artist and arty artist, I guess. And this was a magazine that was kind of like, meant to harken back to the glory days of horror comics, with EC and, magazines like Tales from the Crypt, of course, spooky, eerie. But it was also catering to the then popular trend of, explicit gore and just, balls to the wall horror, late 80s horror goodness, the kind of stuff that I myself have always appreciated. I thought it'd be kind of fun to share those comics with you, show you the covers, and give you a little peek inside them. So yeah, without further ado, let's take a look at issue 1. Now, this has got to be one of my all-time favorite covers. Now, I'm not normally like a comic guy. Like, I could not care less about Marvel or DC or any of that. But now this kind of comic definitely has my attention. And what a glorious work of art that is, right? This issue number 1 came out on January 1st, 1986. And, okay, let's see how we're going to do this logistically. So, first of all, there's the table of contents to give you an idea. Look how amazing that is. I'm a big fan of the first story here. I'm just going to show you the first page to kind of give you an idea. This magazine has just that amazing sort of black and white kind of old school artwork that is just so fun to read. Some of the issues were completely textless. For example, there's the first page of 1. You'll see that, I found those ones that didn't have any dialogue or text bubbles. Sometimes they'd be kind of difficult to understand. Like you have to kind of go back and really sort of pay attention to what's happening. But I mean, just the images speak for themselves. I mean, spoiler alert, but I mean, just look at what happens to this poor girl. I mean, fucking Jesus, right? Like, definitely is not your, typical horror comic. There's the front page for Zombie Tool Shed. Just an absolute blast. In fact, if you guys are curious at all about Gore Shriek, I mean, I would say the first 2 issues are probably the best. Just really fun. And then on the back here, we have a preview for issue number 2, which I will show you next. Issue number 2 also debuted on January 1st, 1986. They kind of came out together. That is another just lovely, lovely image, is it not? Just freaking love that. And the back is just, that is just like some great artwork, is it not? I mean, just like fantastic. And I love like the feel that it gives. Definitely, it's like 80s horror that's throwing back to like 50s horror, and it's just absolutely amazing. And it's kind of interesting to see like the changes in artwork, like depending on the artist. So there's the table of contents. There is the first story, which I think is another one of those textless stories. So it's like all images. You have to kind of kind of see from the images, but just really, really cool stuff. Amazing artwork. Yeah, like the artists that they had on display here were really, really showing their stuff. One of my favorites in this whole first volume is this Need for Speed that you see starts there. I mean, just look at the style of the artwork. Just absolutely incredible. This is a cool, a lot of these stories, kind of similar to like EC or like Tales from the Crypt stories, but just with added, just gore and just ridiculous over the top violence. But super, super fun stuff. Let me see here. What else could I show you? Just trying to give you guys a little taste of it. Just the amazing artwork that's on display here. Okay, issue number 3 we have here. This is another very famous cover. This one debuted on January 1st, 1987, so a year later after the first two. And there we have the back, Moana Lisa. I don't know. But really, really cool. I will show you the table of contents page is always just fantastic. Stephen R. Bissett actually did most of those. He did a lot of those like kind of table of contents pages. But yeah, the artwork kind of differs obviously according to like whoever is drawing it, but all just really neat. Kind of just that has that amazing sort of feel that really depicts things, depicts the era really well. Things like that. Just amazing. So that was issue number 3. Okay, issue number 4 we have next. Another amazing cover there, right? This one, issue 4, came out on January 1st, 1988. So this is the following year, and this is the issue where they start to kind of give this huge, exhaustive history of sort of horror comics, and kind of goes over the whole history of like EC and Warren and all that stuff, and that's interesting. But I feel like too much space is going over that. I would have liked to see more like actual comics. It kind of gets it's a little long in the tooth almost, but there's the table of contents page, and still just really, really cool artwork that you can just like really dig into. And then yeah, so here I love this stuff too, like just like the ads they have for Mars Attacks comics, which I have never read. I'm not too familiar with them. We saw the movie back in a while back. But yeah, so here they have like kind of these articles going way back and kind of giving you a history of horror in comics, which is pretty cool. I'm trying to think if this is the one that has... No, but it does have some other stuff I can show you. Like, yeah, really, really cool. So that's issue number 4. Issue number 5 of Gore Shriek came out on January 1st, 1988 as well, the same as the one I just showed. And we got another cool image. Here are some of the artists that are featured in this issue. And there's the table of contents page. Very, very cool. And I should have written down like which issues had what comics, but yeah, I don't want to go over everything, but just kind of giving you a glimpse of some of the delights herein. Really just a fun time, and a lot of like other just articles by artists and kind of pieces on different aspects of comic history, horror comic history. Okay, and then issue number 6, this is the last issue of volume 1. This was on January 1st, 1989, and just an amazing cover. Just really, really cool. Love this image on the back as well. Very emblematic of kind of like the Gore Shriek aesthetic and sort of like, preoccupations, if you will. There's the table of contents. And in this issue, they kind of start, of course, so then they have more. Of course, there's a lot of stuff on sort of like classic horror comics in here, because in a way, this was a throwback at the time. Okay, this is one of my favorites. I love this Invasion. Really cool story. This kid happens upon some aliens, and of course, shit goes awry. But, just to give you a little taste. I think they might have reprints of some of these. In fact, I know that they've been reprinted. So if this, looks appealing to you guys, look into that. Look into the reprints because, yeah, I know I've seen it on Amazon. I think I've seen some reprints. I am missing issue number 6.5. That one came out on January 1st, 1989 as well. That was pretty rare, rarer actually than these. And then, so Fantico, that was pretty much the initial run. It went from 86 to 89. And then in 90, Fantico decided they're going to revive it and bring it back for kind of like a second volume. But at that point, Stephen R. Bissett had left Fantico Enterprises apparently after a dispute that he had over the Night of the Living Dead horror comics, which came out in that time around 1990 or 91, which he also worked on. But they kind of had like some, I don't know, creative or maybe business differences. And he left, so I don't think he was a part of the second volume. I've only got the first issue of the second volume, but that is just a beauty, is it not? I mean, just another amazing, almost Clive Barker-esque image. But this one came out on January 1st, 1990. And this, Volume 2 was not, as successful, obviously, as Volume 1 because it came out in 1990. And we all know 1990 was not the best year for kind of commercial horror. There's the back. As always, really cool table of contents page. Just amazing artwork. And yeah, just to kind of give you a glimpse of the art style. Really, really cool. Oh, I just got to show this last page. I mean, because why not? That is beautiful. That is my definition of just very, very, very well skilled craftsmanship, right? I mean, just amazing. So, yeah, that's it. That's my collection of Gore Shriek horror comics. Hopefully you got a kick out of seeing some of those. As I said, if it looks appealing to you, check Amazon. They might have some reprints, or hell, check eBay. I don't know, what prices of these go for. Every now and then you can get lucky, but they're really cool. Just fun. I'm not, as I said, not a huge horror comic or just a comic person in general, but these comics are just really fun and great, for this month of October. Just, the equivalent of sitting down with like a Tales from the Crypt episode, but in comic form and even gorier. So yeah, I get a kick out of that, and hopefully you enjoyed seeing those comics. So thanks for watching, guys. As always, I will see you next time. Peace out.